Welcome to Xtra presented by VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. No filter, very censored. You can, psych, food you, or fool you. Either one, it works. It works. Just a different pronunciation. With technology, life is supposed to get easier. With technology, things are supposed to get easier or simple or simpler. Is that really the case, though? Is that really the case? And this is an open-end question. I do not. And I'm going to maintain being a truth teller because I have to see something, say something, sing like a bird, tell the truth, maintain being a truth teller, and not knowingly and willfully give inaccurate information or wrong stuff just to do it for the sake of doing something. There's got to be a rhyme or reason behind it. But let's not get sidetracked here. With technology, things are supposed to get easier. Life is supposed to be simpler, and so on and so forth. And this is something that will keep me up at night. Depending on the day, depending on the month, depending on the year, depending on the decade, for that matter, the answer changes. It varies. I remember back, longer than a week ago, longer than 2 weeks ago. I remember way back when I used to hear the stories from either my parents, family members, or granddad about how life used to be way back when, how things used to be way back then. I imagine it was. It's relative to that experience in the times, in what was accepted, in what was frowned upon, in what you could get away with, evildoers, that is, bad actors, that is, what you could get away with. And I can rattle that around, and I've rattled that around my brain because I can recall the times, and I'm just looking and I'm hearing the stories about walks, hikes, this, that, and I'm like, all right, it's okay. Yeah. And just roll my eyes or just hope and wish that my inner monologue is working and nothing is coming out when I'm hearing these things, because I am trying to be respectful to my elders. I'm trying to be respectful to the people that I care about. Some of the people that I care about the most and who have my best interests at hand. So them giving me advice, them giving me suggestions, them telling me stories. Story time. Yay! Oh, wait, that's party time. Hey, story time is party time. They're one of the same. Story time will convince you that they are not party time, and party time will not mention story time. That's how they get over on you, and you don't realize they are one of the same. That's why during story time, I would try to maintain focus, and while I'm focused, aware of the conversation, and also trying to calculate, figure out how I can utilize this information, take it in, take what I need, take what I don't need, and make it make sense in the context of my life. Because having the ability to do that and being able to do that, people say it makes you wise. Not necessarily to experience that experience, because experience is the best teacher, and some people need to experience something to fully understand it. But if you are able to process, and if you're able to understand something without fully going through that experience yourself, we say you're wise. You're wise beyond your years. You know a little something. You got something about you that makes you reasonable in that sense. Yeah, I just want to throw a reason about that because I haven't used that word in a long time. But it fits. It barely fits. But let's rock with it. Let's rock with it. And I did all of that when I heard the stories. I took them in because I can recall them now. And I remember them all. And I would always think, like, yeah. But with technology and just with time going forward, things naturally should improve. Things naturally should get better. However, I think, actually, I know that those thought processes and the way that I was thinking then is not necessarily the way I think now. It's more, it's deeper. It's more thought out. Next level. While that's all good and great and possibly true, technology supposed to make things easier. Just with time alone, things should, in theory, improve. Like making a quilt or making something that requires knitting or sewing. You start with one patch. That one patch was the beginning. That next patch that you sew on to connect to that is the next generation. And the next patch is the next generation, and so forth until you have whatever item it is complete. But that's the thing. It's never complete. And when it's complete, I imagine that's when it's over. That's the end. And I'm talking about, like, that's the end of the universe, the galaxy, or whatever it is that means the end in your terminology, in your verbiage. Go with it, because I can't read minds. Although sometime on TV, I pretend that I can read minds, but I'm only saying it in jest. I'm not saying it as to take it seriously. So if you have, and if you do, and if you are, I'd suggest you not. But that's for that, and not this. And if you need a friendly reminder, go ahead and go back a couple seconds, and there you have it. You're welcome. You're welcome. I think more deeper, because even with technology technically improving and making things better, there also comes not a moral obligation, but a responsibility with this technology, with these new tools in the toolbox for you to operate in this new, in an advanced world. I'm not going to say improve, because this goes back to the open-ended question: does technology really makes things better? Or Yeah, you get it. And that's definitely something that keeps me up at night and been pondering around in my mind, because even though technology and just time alone can make some things simpler or easier, there's the added pressure. There's the added responsibility, because now you don't have to spend more time on things that would normally take you a longer period of time to do and accomplish. You can accomplish more. You can do more. You can be more efficient. You can get more done, move easier, more frequently, and everything that you can possibly think of. But is that really making life easier, simpler, carefree, better than the previous generation, better than the previous lifetime of folks? Because if everybody's not on board with taking in this new and acquired responsibility, and more people don't care or don't buy into social contracts or buy into the new rules of the game, because things are changed, things are different because of this technology, because of the years, because of the time frame. New rules and regulations have to be put in place, because now you can do more, you can get more done. You're not tied down, you're not bogged down on one or two things. You can do multiple. You can do whatever your heart desires, given you have the means to do it efficiently and quickly, or quicker than the previous people in that same situation or a situation similar that can equate to what it is presently, what it is now. And so while I rolled my eyes when I heard the stories, it's like, yeah, but of course, once again, the inner monologue working, because a yeah, but to elders and people who have, or technically, supposedly have my best interest at hand, a yeah, but that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful on so many levels, and I couldn't imagine doing it multiple times, multiple people, without feeling some kind of way. And that way is disrespect, feeling disrespectful, and being a bad actor when it's necessarily do not have to. But then again, with technology being better than before and having more information available to us as a whole, things that we previously thought was correct and right, we can now fully see that it was wrong, and we can take that ample amount of information and make a better decision that works out for the better of beings, people, society, the universe, the galaxy, solar system, going once, going twice. Okay, yeah. Solar system it is. Solar system to me, the man with his hand in the air doing flea claps. If you don't know what flea claps are, take your thumb and pointer finger and just put them together and just thumb, finger, touch them together and just keep doing that. Flea claps. Now you know something. Now you know something that maybe you knew, but now you know for sure. Flea claps. That's what it is. And with that, ways of handling certain situations improve. But even with that, does the balance of the new information, the new technology, and just time, does it really balance itself out with the more responsibility, with peeps not caring to take more responsibilities, and everything ends up going right? My left, your right. Everything end up going sideways. And when it's time to look back, or when it's time for you to address someone younger and say, back in my day, back in my time, you wouldn't understand, you wouldn't know. I'd suggest you take, or I'd ask, you take a little bit more deeper thoughts past the surface level of, okay, with technology, period, things just should get better. With science, things just should get better because you're running test experiments and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's true. But we're also putting more responsibilities on the youngins. They do have more responsibilities than we have. They're just different kinds. It may not be the manual kind of responsibilities, but as far as with mental, psychological responsibilities, knowing how to interact better, but knowing how to be a human being to other human beings in the future, that can get lost with having so many advantages within technology, within science, within things and methods that have improved over time. Whereas the youngins have to know the bare minimum of the new stuff, and it's constantly building and building. So they're barely knowing the new stuff as it's presented. And as time go on, they have to continue building. Whereas we as in old peeps, he. I said old peeps, he. And that's the he, not the ha ha. There's a difference. There is a difference. I can honestly say that I truly don't know. I can speak from my experience, and I can say, as I mentioned earlier, where it just depends on the day, just depends on the month, just depends on the week. It changes, and it's relative to possibly different people and different how can I put this? Just in different upbringings. And it is something that's going to keep me up at nights even more. This one isn't going away anytime soon because the answer is out of my reach. And even with the improvement of technology and science and making life and making things better and better and better, supposedly in theory, it's almost like being a perfectionist, right? You're just getting better. You're just getting better. You're just trying to get close to perfection, or you're trying to get to perfection as possible. But are you ever going to get there? Technology, are you ever going to get there? Science, are you ever going to get there? Time, just with improvement of doing something and finding a better, more efficient way of doing it. At what point does it become a chase for perfection and not necessarily what gives you a better life? And better life can be defined. A better life. And a better life can be defined as how you define it as. See what I did there? See what I did there? Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out the website at extra.vdgsports.com. That is xtra.vdgsports.com. There's a YouTube, VDG Sports. Like, subscribe, share, do whatever it is you do there. Comment if you may, comment if you must. Just keep the trust, because there's no us without it. This episode is not, I repeat, not being sponsored by VinceDouglasGregory.com. Vince Douglas Gregory. What? Let's try that again. I can't even say my name, and this happens so many times. Do I know my name? Yes. Can you say it? Yes. Can you say it on triple speed? Nah. So I'll say it on normal speed. This episode is not being sponsored by VinceDouglasGregory.com. VinceDouglasGregory.com is where you can keep up with me, my whereabouts, my well-being, everything in between. Basically, all things Vince. However, been slipping. You know what to do. You know what to do. And thank you. Thank you. Peace. Peace. Out. Out. Oh, no. Almost, but you got a little bit.